The Dershow.
Someday I'd love the whole story of Epstein to come out from beginning to end. I'd love to see somebody write a definitive biography which isn't polemical and doesn't have a narrative of what you want to have happen, but just tells the story from beginning to end, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there's a lot of all of that. So we'll see whether that will happen. We'll see whether Ghislaine Maxwell, if she's released, would ever write a book about her relationships with Epstein. Believe me, it would be a big, big, big seller. And she strikes me as a very truthful person. I've never seen anything to contradict that. So there's going to be a meeting. We don't know who will attend the meeting. Obviously, Ghislaine Maxwell will have to have her lawyer there. Her lawyer is a very able former student of mine, former research assistant of mine. She has a couple of lawyers. She has family who care deeply about her. And the government will have, I suspect Todd Blanche will be at the meeting personally. Normally, the Deputy Attorney General doesn't attend meetings in prison with inmates, but probably he will, unless she's taken out and brought to his office, which is also a possibility. And there'll probably be some line assistants and others, maybe the person who prosecuted her. But the person who prosecuted her has now been fired. So it remains to be seen who will attend the meeting, what the topics will be at the meeting, what will come out of the meeting. But for me, the most important thing is to get all the information out there. And that's the only way to do it. The written files contain some of the information. By the way, the grand jury files that are now being requested, I would say contain 5% maybe of relevant information. Then maybe another 25 or 30% are contained within documents that have been sealed by 3 federal judges. The case is now before 2 federal judges, both of whom have issued rulings saying to the Justice Department, present us with the redacted material that you would like to see made public, and we'll rule on it. And we'll see what that looks like. I have not seen the grand jury minutes. I was not privy to that. I have seen some of the sealed discovery material, and I know what's in that, but I don't know what's in the grand jury minutes, but I know what's typically in grand jury minutes. Very, very thin. Usually the government only presents to the grand jury the minimum amount that's necessary. Sometimes they don't even do it through witnesses. They do it through hearsay. The U.S. attorney will get up with an investigator, mostly the investigator will get up and say, well, this is what he told me, and based on what he told me, I think there's probable cause. And that usually would be enough to get an indictment from a jury. But the prosecution doesn't put superfluous material into the grand jury because the defense attorney gets access to anything that's exculpatory in grand jury minutes. And it's the last thing prosecutors want, is to give defense attorneys the gift of exculpatory material. So I think there's going to be a big disappointment in what's in the grand jury minutes. I think there's also going to be somewhat of a disappointment, though less great, about what's in the sealed material, some of which I'm aware of and I have extrapolated about because I know a lot of the facts. And then finally, there's the trove of material that Ghislaine Maxwell has, both oral and probably in writing. She probably has access to material that the government is not aware of. We don't even know where the material is. It could be in England, where her home originally was and where her family is. It could be in where she was in New England. It could be in her apartment in New York. Who knows? It could be in back vault somewhere. We just don't know. And so the best way to get the information is, let's make a deal. So I hope there will be a deal, and I hope the deal will result in her finally being allowed to go free. She's already been stigmatized, 5 years in prison, conviction, felon, all of that. She has a very, very strong legal claim. The deal that was made with Jeffrey Epstein, the deal that was made by Roy Black, myself, and all the other lawyers, included, I think that may have been an earlier deal that I was not involved in. I can't remember. But one of the deals that was made with Epstein gave not only Epstein immunity from further prosecution, but also gave any of his co-conspirators, of which she was one. Immunity. The government took the position that applied only in the Florida Federal District Court. She and her lawyers took the position, no, it says the United States government will not prosecute. Close question. Close questions ought to be resolved in favor of defendants in criminal cases, but that case has been lost so far at the trial court and at the appellate court level. It's now on certiorari in front of the Supreme Court. Her lawyers have written a superb certiorari petition. I read it, and the government has filed a response. I've read that too. I think the defendant gets the better of the argument, but the Supreme Court rarely grants review, so I don't think she can count on getting certiorari from the Supreme Court. But her best hope lies, obviously, with being able to make a deal.